What's up, guys? Today we're going to be checking out this new tool by Rybbit, and basically it's a Google Analytics alternative. If you've ever used Google Analytics, it's fairly complicated, especially people who aren't used to digging around in various analytic platforms. So what I like about this tool is it's pretty straightforward and very simple, and it does have some advanced features as well. So I want to dive into some of these. So I do have some of the domains I'm tracking here for privacy reasons. A lot of them will be blurred. But if I go and click this one, you can start to see a lot of metrics on your screen here. And just going from the top to the bottom, just giving you an overview on all of this. Here you can sort by the days you want to see the analytics. So they have some presets here, all time, last 30 days. Let's just do the 30-day one. So you can see some of these analytics here, unique users. These are new users who are basically non-returning visitors. Sessions, 20,000. Page views, 31,000. Pages per session, so how many pages are people visiting on average. The bounce rate, how many people are coming and leaving, and the average session duration. And here you can see a breakdown of the last 30 days, like where the spikes are. Usually on the weekends there's a bit of a dip, and then the work days it's a bit of a spike depending on if you're B2B or not. You will typically see charts like this where you have 2-day dips. Then you can sort by like per week if you don't want to see a day to day, and then per hour if you want to see every hour of the day on what exactly happened. And then scrolling down here, you can see where are these visitors coming from. So our biggest one here is Google. So if you go ahead and click Google and drill down, you could see majority is organic search and then paid search number 2. And then you can see which pages they're visiting. And the filter is up here, refer equals Google. If you want to cancel that, just click X. And then it resets it again, and you can see all of the different channels or the refers, whatever you're looking for. So one thing I find helpful is a useful one is that you can click AI, and then you can see exactly which AI platform is actually driving traffic to your website. So for us, ChatGPT and Gemini are driving the most in the AI bucket, and then Claude, Perplexity. So it's pretty cool to see the breakdown like that. Another cool thing you can check out is if you go to channels, go to your referrals, and then go to refers, and you can see which websites are actually referring you. Like you can, it's kind of interesting to see who's actually pointing at your website. And over here you can see details about which pages are being visited. This is pretty neat, and you can drill down into the traffic by clicking into these. So I can say homepage, and then you can also use these tabs here to see where the traffic from the homepage is coming. So very intuitive, very simple. And then you can see entries, which pages are people entering from, what's your most common exit page, and you can really dive into the analytics like that. Here you have some of the technical specs, like which browsers are people coming from, devices, operating systems. You can drop this down to see what system exactly, and for iOS and all the other ones. Screen dimensions. This one's actually really important. You want to make sure whatever your highest screen resolution is, you really want to make sure the site looks good on that, and whoever your web developer or designer is, you want to make sure they're optimizing for maybe like these top views over here, just to make sure everyone has that good user experience. And then also with browser, test these. You always want to test your website with these main browsers over here. And then countries, you can see where the traffic is coming from. Here we have US, Canada, Singapore, mainly a US-based company, regions. So you can easily see the breakdown on where the traffic is coming from, languages spoken, map. This is a pretty neat view. There's actually another map view I'll show you guys later, but this is a pretty interesting one if you just want to see all that data, and then time zones as well. And scrolling down further, you can see a breakdown on when the busiest time of... Then scrolling down further, you can see when your website is the most busiest. The darker the green, the more the traffic. So you can see around noon, lunchtime, 11 to 12 o'clock is typically when we have our busiest hours, up to roughly 3-ish o'clock. So that's for our website. Every website is different. And then you can filter by page views, sessions, bounce rates. Okay, now the next thing I want to show is the globe. This is pretty cool. You can see where your visitors are coming from on the globe. So if I come over here on the US, you can see all the traffic coming, like where it's coming from. You can click around to see, you know, a little bit of details, direct traffic. I mean, this is kind of a cool view, but I think it's a lot easier to look at the tables and the charts instead of, you know, trying to figure things out here. This is just like a bird's eye view of where your traffic is. It's like, okay, we should focus on US. Okay, we have a lot of Europe, things happening in Europe here, in India, Pakistan area. So next tab I wanted to cover was the performance. So this, you can see your web vitals, and you can see exactly which pages need performance updates, and these are ran from Google's web core vitals. So if I go ahead and click one of these, let's say schedule consultation, this is our contact page. So we can see we are needing some improvements for this page, and you can kind of get a breakdown over here to see how fast things are loading based on this chart here in the last 30 days. And you can see it by the hour as well to see where the lags are. This may not really help you that much. I mean, maybe these big spikes might be helpful. Maybe there was some server lag or something was happening. All right, next one I want to cover is the funnels tab here. So funnels is pretty interesting. I created this one just to kind of briefly show you how it works. So this just shows how many people are going from the home page to the case studies page. And you can see like the breakdown of the users and where like they're coming from and how much time they spent. So that's a pretty interesting to see. But mainly you want to see this top level view. If I wanted to create a new one, I would just say, let's do home to blog. Let's see what that looks like. So home page, you would just select your page there. And then to the blog, we would just say the path. And then we would just type in blog. Go to our main blog page, and you can see right there it's 7,000 to 11, which is not very high because that's not really what we push on the home page. Okay, so next I want to cover the journey. The journey is kind of similar to the funnels, but a different view. I think I like using the journeys more, but basically here at the top is how many steps you want to see the user took. So I'll just say 3 steps, and then I want to see from the home page, where are people going? You can see the careers page, likely because a lot of recruiting happening at our company at the moment. The team page, and then the solutions page. So you can see the breakdown of where the traffic is flowing. But let's say you're like, okay, all I care about is the case studies. You can click the case studies, or I guess it's better just to type it out here, case studies. And you can see from the home page to the case studies, what are the most popular paths from here. So you see this case study is the most popular, then this one, and you can see people are flowing to the team section as well. So it's kind of interesting to see the flow of traffic. You really can break down what blogs people are clicking on from the blog page. I go to our main product page. You can see also people get here and then where they're going after that. So that's pretty interesting way to view some of your data. Next, I want to cover the sessions tab. So this is basically going to show like just a log of every visitor. Like 49 seconds ago, this was a minute ago. So we do get a lot of traffic on this website. Usually every like 30 minutes, we're getting a good chunk of visitors coming in. You can see how often the traffic is flowing in. So this is kind of more of just like a live view, and you can start adding filters here. You can add the event names, the channels, whatever data you want to see. This is just the log of visitors. And then users over here is a very similar to sessions, but you're looking at the user in general instead of just like total session count. And then these events just show some of the common events that you have here, different event types. So page views, performance, outbound errors. You can see that on a chart breakdown here. Over here on the errors tab, you can see how many errors are happening on the website and how much times the error occurred in the last 30 days. Some of these are more critical than others. and others not so much, but you can get a breakdown over here. If I go back to this main tab over here, here's where you add your list of domains. Here's what the account dashboard looks like. Here's what the organization looks like if you want to divide things into various groups. So maybe you have like your professional organization and then your side hustle organization. So you can do that by adding more. Teams, you can invite team members. I'm just using this account alone. And then this is the subscription tab that shows how much of your limits you're using on a monthly basis and how many websites you can have depending on what package you're subscribed to. So overall, I think this is a solid tool. If you're looking for a good Google Analytics alternative, I think this is a great piece of software without getting overwhelmed on so many different metrics. Especially for me, I don't really need to look at in-depth analytics. I'm just looking for where's the traffic coming from, where's it going, what's the flow look like. That's typically what I'm looking at. If you need something a lot more advanced and detailed where you really have to go under the hood on things, Google Analytics might be a better option, but there's also a huge learning curve with that. So it just depends exactly on what your use case is. And if you are interested in using this tool, I'll leave my link down in this video description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.